Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar on how to boost your company's bottom line with our partner TaxBack International. It's great to see so many people have registered for this. I can see from some of the people who are attending today, a lot of you I've worked with before on your expenses project, but for those of you who I've not spoken with before, my name's Lee Beer and I'm a senior sales consultant with Webexpenses. Just whilst we wait for maybe a few stragglers to get all signed in, I'll just run through a little bit of housekeeping. So just so that everyone is aware, today's webinar is being recorded. So if you wanted to, at the end of a webinar, we will send you a recording. You can share it with any colleagues over the next few days who may not have been able to attend with you. If anyone has any questions today, now this is really important, you can submit them through the Q&A section, and we're going to have a Q&A bit of time at the end where we can go through and hopefully try to address some of your specific questions in a bit more detail. If there are lots of questions, we will make sure that we follow up with you separately in those instances. Okay, great. So we'll get started now. And I just wanted to say to all of our clients that this is a really exciting opportunity to introduce you to our partner, TaxBack International. The service this partnership provides is specifically unique because, opposed from previous offerings of new additional services that we've offered up to you in the past, which have all come with some form of upfront cost or ongoing cost to them, TaxBack International has the big benefit that it requires no initial outlay from any of our clients. It will save you time and resources while significantly increasing the amount of VAT that our clients are able to claim back. And on average, that amounts to over 50%. This presents a really easy win for our clients. And to summarize, it's no refund, no fee. Just give you a little bit of background to who TaxBack International are. They've been established for more than 20 years and are a global leader in VAT reclaiming services. They process more than 1 billion transactions each year with more than 12,000 clients and have offices in more than 20 countries around the globe. They can cater to businesses of all sizes, industries, and easy or complex business structures. And this offering, it does come at a really important time with all the challenges that COVID-19 has presented. TaxBack International can claim back, in some instances, up to 5 years. We can go back over your previous attempts and try to maximize what you've already done. We hope this will offer our clients a significant additional revenue stream at a time when, for some, you may need it more than ever. I will like to introduce you now to my colleagues at TaxBack. First of all, we've got Sinead Usher, who is the head of strategic global partnerships, and she will detail how easy it is to get started using the TaxBack service and the benefits from our partnership. And you'll also be hearing from Fiona Kennedy, who is the regional sales manager within the UK, and who will explain a little bit more detail exactly how TaxBack is going to be able to help you. So without any further ado, I'd like to hand over to Sinead.
Thanks, Lee. That was a great introduction. I couldn't have done it better myself. Thanks everybody for joining. Today, as Lee mentioned, we're going to talk to you about who we are and what we can do for your organisation. TaxBack International work with UK and global companies to create additional revenue streams. We're fully automated VAT solution provider, and we specialise in digitalisation and automation. VAT is really complex, particularly foreign VAT, and many companies really struggle to work with the VAT reclaim process, and it's mainly down to those complexities. So things such as the continuous changes in legislation, multiple VAT rates, language difficulties, quite often they really just stick with the very bare minimum when it comes to VAT reclaim. And busy finance teams, they just might not have the time or the resources to review large volumes of receipts. We work in all jurisdictions of the world. We have clients in over 180 countries, and we have offices worldwide, which gives us a great local and global presence. So it gives you as an organization the confidence to know that when you're working with us, you will actually be able to spread that VAT reclaim process across any entities you may have. So, as I said, a lot of companies have very busy finance teams, and you stick with what you know, and you are probably doing a great job with your domestic reclaim. But because of the automation that we have put in place and the partnership with Webexpenses, we should be able to help you even further. We don't just rely on technology, we have a really great expertise. So we have VAT consultants and experts and researchers across the globe that allow us to get really a great knowledge of what happens in all these different countries that you can see on the screen, and that, where we're based and where our service is provided. And as I said, with the partnership with Webexpenses, that allows us to optimize the VAT reclaim opportunity. So even getting more back from you than you possibly could yourself. We can do foreign VAT reclaim, domestic VAT reclaim, and we fully indemnify our clients here as well. So there's no risk to our service, even though you may be concerned by bringing a third party in. There's no risk to our service. We were the first to challenge e-receipts within the VAT reclaim sector. So we know that inside out, we understand the concerns you may have around it. And we are experts in making tax digital. And our relationship with the HMRC has grown as a result of the fact that we have worked very closely with them to make that transition as easy as possible for our clients. So this is just a snapshot of our client base and where we have clients. Really, we've over 12,000 clients, in fact, with a large number of those based in the UK. And as I said, this is just a snapshot of some of the well-known brands. I'm sure as you look at this, you'll recognize a lot of them. But also to show you the different type of industries we work in, from manufacturers to universities to global online platforms. We specialize in bespoke services. So we understand that VAT is not a one-size-fits-all type of solution. VAT is very specific. VAT reclaim is very specific to the organization. So we work with you directly to make sure that what you need is covered. And regardless of company size or the industry that you're in, we can devise a solution that even the most complex of VAT challenges. I'd like to hand over to Fiona now, who can actually talk in more detail about our specific service and how that applies to you potentially. Thanks, Fiona.
Thanks, Sinead. Hi, everyone. With the current pandemic, companies are looking at their internal processes and looking for efficiencies and, of course, ways of maximising cash flow. And the potential savings that are hidden within your travel costs can really be significant, and you may not have considered them previously. In our experience, we find that about 20% of the European travel spend is eligible for VAT reclaim and 4% of global travel spend. So really, really significant amounts. So I'm just going to take you through an example of a typical business trip and of the types of VAT reclaim opportunity within the spend. So as you can imagine, your employee is going to stay in a hotel, hire a car, have meals, buy a phone charger, etc. And just looking at average VAT amounts on these expense types, you're looking at maybe £340 on an average trip. So then if you consider multiplying that by 30 business travellers, and even just by, say, for example, just 3 business trips per annum. You know, the amounts of VAT are really, really significant, and you're looking at over £30,000 in VAT just on that small amount of travel. Okay, so there are two main types of VAT opportunity, and these are foreign and domestic. So the foreign VAT recovery is VAT reclaim on the international travel expenses of your employee. So when your employee, say, travels internationally on business. Now, there are some specific deadlines to this. So the 30th of June is for capturing the VAT on your non-EU travel. So say, for example, a UK company travels to Switzerland, you have until the 30th of June 2021 to recover the VAT. For your European travel, so for your UK employee traveling to Germany, you have until the 30th of September 2020 to recover the 2019 VAT. And the final deadline is the 31st of December. So if you have, for example, a Norwegian entity and your employee is coming into the UK, you have until 31st of December of 2020 to recover that VAT from 2019. So the second type of VAT that we're going to look at is the domestic VAT recovery. And basically when employees are traveling within their home country and incurring, you know, your day-to-day business expense cost, you may have a process in-house, but maybe now might be the time to see, is it as efficient as you'd like it to be? In many countries, you can go back as far as 5 years, such as the Netherlands, and here in the UK, 4 years to claim the domestic VAT that you may not have previously captured. Okay, so when we speak with companies, what are the usual questions that we're asked? And often companies would say, you know, when it comes to domestic VAT, we're actually already recovering all the eligible VAT internally. And, you know, you might have a really nice process, but we often find that companies are not actually capturing the smaller little transactions. So those kind of receipts on, you know, restaurants or coffee bills, etc. And this, in fact, can account for about 30% of the total VAT recovery. So it's definitely an area to, you know, consider further. And as we mentioned earlier, you can reclaim up to and amend returns as well in the UK, and you can look at retrospectively 4 years domestic VAT reclaim opportunities. The other question we have, and we're asked a lot at the moment, as we all know, we're not traveling, is companies say, you know, we're not traveling at all and we're not traveling out foreign because of the current pandemic. But just to point out that you can actually recover the 2019 VAT by September the 30th of 2020. So there's most definitely still time. So I'm just going to take you through VAT Connect, which is Taxback International's automated cloud-based VAT recovery solution. And it comprises of 3 core components: VAT Connect integration, which manages the flow of data from your Webexpenses system through to Taxback International; VAT Connect Intelligence, that processes and determines the eligibility and compliance of the data flow; and VAT Connect Analytics, which is a cloud-based portal where you can actually log on and view the exact reclaim amounts and information on compliancy and eligibility. So going back to VAT Connect integrations, so basically we manage the data input and we map the data from source, so from the Webexpenses tool, and we pull the data into our unified database, where the data passes through VAT Connect Intelligence, which is a series of distinctive engines focusing on really specific jobs as the data passes through. There's a rules engine, and basically this is where the tax office rules are inbuilt. And there's a recovery engine that's determining the actual eligibility or the VAT potential on the transactions, on the receipts. We use machine learning then within this intelligence piece so that we can actually determine the exact compliancy levels of each individual invoice. So in a scenario then where we have data but no image, this is passed to an exceptions team and they can reach out to the supplier to get the associated image. Or if we identify incompliancy issues as well, we have an exceptions auditing team who actually review these transactions. And it may be a scenario where it's like a booking.com receipt and there's nothing we can do with it, but we report this all back to our clients. The really nice aspect, I suppose, then of the whole process is the VAT Connect analytics, which will give you a great visibility on all the work we're carrying out. So the output of this actual process is either going to be foreign VAT, where Taxback International are submitting the claims to the Foreign Tax Office. We manage the claims, we answer the tax office questions, and we repay the VAT into your dedicated bank account. The other output is domestic VAT reclaim. So for example, if you decided to use Taxback for your domestic VAT reporting in a number of countries, or alternatively, if you wanted us to look at transactions that you believed you did not capture previously, we will go through the process and report the exact amounts on the specific date required by your local controller. And of course, the reports are available for your review and for scheduling from the analytics tool. Okay, so I'm just going to take you through that tool I mentioned a moment ago, VAT Connect Analytics, which is our web-based online reporting system. And it'll deliver full transparency, control and visibility so that you can actually view the VAT reclaim applications, but also the total amounts of opportunity. So the access to the system, it's really, really secure. It's managed via two-factor authentication. And of course, we can also organize an extra level of security through single sign-on to the platform so that each employee would have a specific log-on to the system. And so over the years, through our experience with our clients, the reporting function includes those data fields that are really important to organizations and that will allow you complete visibility on a project. All the reports are broken down into entity, the application, the actual transactions within an application, and we'll even attach each PDF image from Webexpenses into the line item of the report. The reports are very, very customizable and it'll allow the user create the exact report that you require. And we can pull in additional fields from Webexpenses like GL code, ledger code, counting code, any of the cost centers that will help your organization to reconcile the reports back to your internal ERP. So the scheduling function on the tool is really, really nice for local controllers where we're providing your domestic VAT reports. You can schedule, for example, your UK reports to arrive, every 4th month on the 12th of the month, so that the report and the figure is available for you just to pop the figure into the local return. The other really, really nice thing about this tool is, as well as providing all the VAT that's reclaimable, we will also report back on gaps and where we think that you can increase your VAT reclaim. So of course, we would like you to get, the highest possible VAT reclaim, and we can design continuous improvement programs within this system so that we can do so. So now I'm just going to hand over to my colleague Sinead, who's going to go through how we can look at your benchmark analysis.
Thanks a million, Fiona. That was a really great overview, and I hope everybody on the webinar got a great insight as to how our process works. If you want to know more and organize a no obligations demonstration, especially of the analytics tool, I think a lot of our clients are really, really impressed with what they can do with that. It's very simple. There's 2 ways to engage. The first one, which is recommended, is to contact your Webexpenses account manager. We work very closely with Webexpenses, so they're all up to speed. They know exactly how to introduce the idea to you and bring you into conversation with ourselves. or via a referral link. So we're going to send this webinar, as Lee mentioned at the beginning, and we're going to send it out to you afterwards, but there will be a self-referral link there for you as well. So if you just wanted to fill that out, we will get in touch and we'll work with your Webexpenses account manager on your behalf in the background anyway. In both of those instances, once we know that you're interested, we literally work with you to set up a demo, and you'll be assigned a TaxBack International representative who will bring you through every step of the process and talk to you about the paperwork and contracts and things like that. So it's really, really simple. But the first thing we always do is, before any of that, we do a free analysis for you. We use the Webexpenses data and we see where you are, where you are currently in your process and how we can help you to move forward with it before you do anything else, and no contracts or anything like that signed. So as I said, there's two processes: either engage with your account manager or fill out the referral form, and we'll be delighted to help you from there. I think, Lee, we are going to do a bit of a Q&A now, so I'm going to hand back to Lee to moderate that.
Thank you very much, Sinead. Thank you, Fiona. That was fantastic. Hopefully our clients will get a lot from that, explored in a lot of detail as well. So as this webinar has been going on, I'm really happy to say that we have been getting a lot of questions coming through. So I'm just going to filter through a few of these so we can drill down into a little bit more detail.
Be kind to us, Lee, be kind.
I'll try. So the first one that I think would be good to look at is, we've got one here for Fiona. Can you share any examples of common missed reclaim opportunities?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I suppose I'll get a little bit statistical here. I suppose we typically find that about 47% of the missed transactions can be the under £10 amounts, which can be they'll make up a significant opportunity if you can get a process in place for, reclaiming those. And this is where I suppose our artificial intelligence technology comes in, because we can process huge volumes and just provide you back with the results. If it's domestic in a report, or through the foreign VAT reclaim, we can just process these through a claim to the local tax office. So that's definitely an area to consider, small receipts.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
No worries.
Sinead, we'll let you have a go at this one now.
Thanks.
How do you access the data and facilitate the reclaim analysis?
Okay, we've tried to make this as simple as possible for Webexpenses clients. So we've been working together for a while now, Lee. So we've a pretty slick process. The first thing we would do is recommend that the client submits a ticket or a project to Webexpenses, so that they know that the Webexpenses know that this is of interest to the client, and they will sign a letter of authority, or an LOA, as we frequently call it. We like our acronyms, and it's from there. It's a really streamlined approach. We will Webexpenses will send the data to us via SFTP. And we will then pick that up through a secure process and feed it into our VAT intelligence, as Fiona mentioned earlier. And from then, we just take the data at that point to do the free analysis. And once we have understood the free analysis and you want to move to the next stage, we then use a similar process to pull the images as well as the data for the full period. And then we can do the full reclaim process for you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Sinead. Right, we've got a complicated one here. So please explain the full process of the refunds request side. Are they submitted to the tax office on the client's behalf? Also, how do Webexpenses clients actually receive their refunds? I think that'll be a good one for you, Fiona.
Okay, thanks, Lee. Yeah, no, that's a great question. Yeah, so it's quite a simple process. As Sinead mentioned there, once we receive the actual letter of authority and we start working on a project, the next phase then is we become a client's foreign VAT agent. We can submit the claims to the various European tax offices. We'll answer all the questions in the local languages. And of course, then once the VAT is reclaimed, we will transfer the amount to the dedicated bank account, whatever bank account you would like, whether it's, your head office bank account or a local entity. The good news is we don't actually take our fee until the VAT is actually reclaimed from the tax office. So there's actually no upfront fees, no upfront cost to the actual VAT reclaim solution. We report then, as we mentioned earlier, on the analytics tool, all the results. So you have a very clear picture of when to forecast and when to expect the VAT reclaim from your various member state of refund.
All right, great. Right, we've got a token security question now that's come through.
Fiona can have that one.
Thanks.
I'm sure there's always people rushing for this one. How can you guarantee the data security? I think, Fiona, you've been nominated for this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, like to be fair, we do have the highest standard of data security in-house, and we have certification to provide to, the companies that are interested in our service. We have the ISO 27001. We're just about to complete the SOC 2. And of course, we operate at banking standard at the TaxBack Group, because the group itself are partnered with a number of banks like ING, Wells Fargo, AIB, etc. And the other, I suppose, really interesting piece is we actually don't outsource any data, because TaxBack have our own internal processing center in Bulgaria. So the data never leaves TaxBack. It's a very secure end-to-end solution.
All right, brilliant. Hopefully that's given a bit of peace of mind there.
No problem.
All right. Okay, we've got a great one here, actually. We've got a client who's used a VAT reclaim service before, and they'd like to know what specifically sets you apart from your competitors in the market. Sinead, you're probably best placed to answer this one.
Thought you might say that, Lee. Well, actually, I probably am. I have been working in the industry for many, many years now, and I have worked for other VAT reclaim companies prior to coming to work for TaxBack International. So I have a very broad understanding of, I understand how the other companies work. I think the big thing for TaxBack International is the people. It might sound very, a very general way of answering that, but one of the things that's very important for us is that it's not just an automated process. Yes, we were the pioneers of automation. So TaxBack International were the first company, first VAT reclaim company to actually automate the VAT reclaim process. But one of the things that we didn't lose was the people side of it. So we have experts, we have researchers, we have people who understand the different receipts in the different regions and the different VAT mechanisms across the world. We have the languages, and we have the, I think we have the understanding of what our clients are looking for. So we spend a lot of time making sure that we understand the client before just throwing them through an automated process. I think one of the big things that sets us aside as well is the security side of things. We have the highest level of security of any VAT reclaim company globally, and it's specifically down to the fact that we have these banking relationships and the finance relationships. We also indemnify our clients. So when it comes to foreign and outsourcing any type of tax, I think there is a concern for some of our clients before we start working with them, when they're at prospect stage. And one of the things that really gives them security around it is the fact that we indemnify them around our submission. So anything that we submit on behalf of the client, we will stand over 100%. And I think that gives a lot of confidence to our clients to move forward with us. And we also work continuously with them. So we have a continuous improvement program. And Fiona talked earlier about the Electrolux example. That's just one example of many clients that we have that have seen us come in and take over the process and not just be happy with the first lot of results we get. We constantly work with our clients and we try to train them and get the best out of their solution and increase year on year. And it's very rare that we would see any type of plateau in that process. So I think that's really how we differentiate ourselves.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think in particular, for me, working with a lot of our clients, that indemnity guarantee is really important, just to give that peace of mind whenever you are reaching out and working with a new business. So yeah, I think that's fantastic. I think we got time for one more question. Let's try and find a nice difficult one as we're going through here.
Fiona, I'm handing it over to you again.
Yeah, Fiona, I think this one's going to be for you. You mentioned that you retrieve compliant receipts from suppliers that previously have been missed in the process. What's the turnaround time on this, and does it delay the process for clients actually getting their refund back?
Yeah, that's another great question. Yeah, we have a really nice process, and where we identify that we are missing invoices or that invoices are compliant is when we actually do that VAT intelligence piece. So the machine learning can identify, for example, if you have data but the missing image, or if the image is there, the receipt is there, but it's actually incompliant. So typical types of vendors we can reach out to would be like of hotels, car hire, anything that was booked through an agent as such. And the turnaround time is probably maybe about 3 weeks. We basically batch the invoices into groups, reach out to the supplier, and get the compliant versions back to TaxBack. So we use those then to submit either if it's foreign to the tax office, the foreign tax office, or we can also provide corrections report for domestic clients. It's an efficient process, and we can report back and benchmark as well your suppliers, which is interesting. Advise you as well how cooperative the suppliers are with us, which might help you make informed decisions down the line when you are booking hotels, etc.
No, I think that's really important. Speaking with a lot of people in finance when they're looking at receipts, one of the big frustrations is when you get a non-compliant receipt and you miss that element of VAT. So that ability to go back and get those bits of information so that you can claim it back is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's super. And I suppose one other little, nugget that we found over the years is that the top 10% of the traveling employees actually amount for 60% in compliancy. So it's an interesting fact as well. So we can design those continuous improvement solutions around, the specific employee, and it's entirely up to the company itself.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for that. Sadly, I think that we have run out of time. I do have a number of really interesting questions here as well, which you're off the hook on for today anyway. But for all of our clients, we will follow up with you separately just to address anything that you've got there. As a reminder, if you have any follow-up questions, please get in contact with us at Webexpenses. The email address is account.management@webexpenses.com, or give us a call. We'll happily have a chat through it with you. But I think for our client base, which, as I said, I've already spoken to a lot of you in the past, I think this is a fantastic opportunity, specifically around your UK VAT reclaim. We can go back with this partnership as far as 4 years. So this is essentially a free shot for you to give TaxBack a chance, see how good they are in actually delivering on that service, and you've not lost anything because this is something that you've already closed off. If you get a check at the end of it, it's a win-win scenario. But thank you very much, Fiona. Thank you very much, Sinead. That's been fantastic. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a million, Lee. Thanks for the time, and thank you everybody for joining.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Brilliant. Look
day.
forward to hearing from you all.